It's September 10th, and we're just hours away from the start of the spring 2026 shows. To be technical about it, we've been reviewing collections since Monday. This is anything but an ordinary season. A month from now, we'll have witnessed not one, not two, but 15 runway debuts. Who are these designers? How will they reshape fashion? And why should you care? My name's Nicole Phelps. I'm the global director of Vogue Runway, and this is the Big Reshuffle. Straight into our big story, I'm joined by my colleague, José Criales-Unzueta. Welcome, hey, José. Hi. We're here to break down what's coming in the season ahead. The first thing we're going to do is discuss the key players. Monsieur Blasi has gone from Bottega Veneta to Chanel. Jonathan Anderson is now at Dior, and Jack McCollough and Lazaro Hernandez have replaced him at Loewe. They left the label they founded, Proenza to do so, and Diatima's Rachel Scott has just been named as their replacement. Demna walked away from Balenciaga and is now at Gucci, following a short stint by Sabato de Sarno there. Pierpaolo Piccioli is now at Balenciaga. A year ago, he was replaced at Valentino by Alessandro Michele. Simone Bellotti did 4 great seasons at Bali and is now at Jill Sander. And Glenn Martins of Y Project and Diesel is the new guy at Maison Margiela. Phew!
And it's not all of them yet.
No, there's more. The really big question is, why is all of this happening at once?
I mean, Nicole, the grass is always greener. That's really what it is. But there are also 2 really important economic factors. In 2024, there was a huge luxury slowdown, which means that luxury fashion really started to reassess its place in everyone's lives, right? So sort of try to understand how to get people to shop luxury again. And then on the other side, there is sort of this sense of corporate ambition. Executives start to rethink what fashion can do or what they can sell, and then that's where we get designers start moving around. But what is really interesting is that it is almost from the same gene pool. You see them go from conglomerate to conglomerate, from big brand to big brand. We're asking very successful, very important creatives to have lightning strike twice. It is a really hard thing to do.
Sometimes it happens. I always like to bring up Phoebe Philo, who made magic at Chloe, went to Celine, and came back 2 years ago with Phoebe Philo. And so she is a 3 times a charm,
right?
But it's a pretty rare.
That also depends not just on them. It depends on the culture. It depends on the zeitgeist, right? Like when Alessandro Michele changed the way we dressed at Gucci, he sort of like ignited this wave of gender fluid fashion with like pussy bow blouses for men and all of this, right? But we were ready for that back in 2016. At this point, we've been having that conversation for 10 years. So how do you do that again is to me what's interesting.
So we can't forget the big announcement that happened. Your friend, Rachel Scott, who founded Diotima several years ago, has landed the Proenza Schooler job.
She has. Rachel is this Jamaican designer, and she has really conquered a very specific subset of New York people who love fashion, buy fashion, wear fashion every day. But the reason why I think that is a fascinating person to install at Proenza is that in so many ways, Lazaro Hernandez and Jack McCollough, when they started Proenza Schooler, did a similar thing, right? They all of a sudden were dressing kind of New York's it fashionistas, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Lauren Santo Domingo. I'm also fascinated to see what Proenza looks like when it's designed by a woman, considering so many women love Proenza.
Yeah, and I have to say that Rachel's a very nice addition to this story because we were working on 15 debuts, all of them being men, but for one, Louise Trotter at Bottega Veneta and Rachel Scott makes 2.
Makes 2, and she's just an exciting talent, but she also breaks the mold. And we need a little more of that.
These shows are all happening this women's ready-to-wear season, but actually, we've already seen some debuts from big brands like Celine, Christian Dior, and Maison Margiela during menswear and couture. Joining us now is Beka Gvishiani, the founder of Style.com, who attended these shows. Hi, Beka. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You saw Jonathan Anderson do menswear at Christian Dior, Michael Ryder do Celine, and Glenn Martins of Y Project and Diesel fame do Maison Margiela. So what was it like to be there?
Before I say anything about the collection is that I want to note that I'm known as a Jonathan Anderson's fanboy. I swear, I went to the show location 1 hour before, and I was sitting in front of cafe across the street just to be sure that I'm on time and I'm one of the first to go inside the building and to see the location and to see the venue, because I had no idea what he would prepare. He's the one who can create and mix the concepts and make a blend that no one else does. For me, that's my opinion. When you go to the concept on even of the first look, seeing that bar jacket made for men paired with the cargo shorts that have a same pleat that has Jonathan's most favorite Dior dress. When you see this concept mixed so perfectly, I mean, I fall in love with this even more. Then Celine, if I was Mike Ryder, I would do the same collection. Honestly, every single piece, we were joking, saying like, this is something that if Heidi and Phoebe had a child, and that was it, in a best possible way. And Glenn, to decode the collection, we saw Martin, we saw John, we saw Glenn, and we saw even leftovers of something like Matthew Blasi. I mean, we saw the masks. He was kind of touching all the development of the Margiela past few years.
Could you call a winner from those three debuts you saw? Who do you think did the best?
Oh my God, these are different collections. So everyone won its own segment. I think winners, we can talk end of October when there is an actual battle of women's wear.
Who else are you looking forward to seeing in September and October?
Chanel stands as number one for me, but it's also the last one. So the anticipation, and we will have until the last moment, we have to wait. Then obviously comes Demna at Gucci. He was saying that he had also this vision of glamour. He would probably one day implement in one of the, in some brand. And I think he has a perfect chance doing it at Gucci. Then comes Pierpaolo, who is going in a way in a traditional couture house, maybe Balenciaga, which is Balenciaga, but the way that Demna has created the visual concept of it that is so different from what Pierpaolo has been doing during past 20 years of his career. That is very exciting just to imagine how Pierpaolo's pieces and his designs gonna fit even in the stores of Balenciaga that was designed for the Demna's aesthetic and the vision. So at the end of the season, I can say more who did it in their own way better, in my opinion.
I'll see you at Ralph Lauren. Thank you, Beka.
Yes, thank you so much, Nicole. See you soon.
Ciao. Now I'm joined by Laia Garcia-Furtado, my colleague. Laia, I know you have lots of opinions about the way these designers are going to impact how we dress. Maybe nobody more than Michael Ryder at Celine, which we really liked.
Yeah, the Celine debut by Michael Ryder was definitely one of the most exciting, mostly because he opened the show with skinny jeans, which we do not love. But I think if there's anyone in the world that can make fashion sort of reconsider their stance on skinny jeans, it's probably Michael Ryder.
We're both wearing very wide cut jeans and pants today.
But also his super preppy silhouette, a lot of preppy details in his collection and primary colors, which Jonathan Anderson at Dior also had. He also did a skinny jean. So I don't know, the skinny jeans might actually be coming back.
Well, Michael Ryder is an American guy, and he was just at Polo Ralph Lauren. So the preppy element makes sense.
It checks out.
Why do you think Jonathan is feeling preppy at Dior?
I don't know. I thought it was really interesting that before the show started, he posted these inspiration images on Instagram, and it was a portrait of Basquiat and a portrait of Lee Radziwill photographed by Andy Warhol. So it was a very American, New York, 70s, which does not read preppy, but I think because he's trying to modernize Dior and couture, and it's also elevated, the opposite of that seems to be American prep.
It could be that it's just a good moment for Americans in Paris. Jack McCollough and Lazaro Hernandez of Proenza Schooler are now at Loewe. Beka was on the show. He said that Mathieu Blazy's Chanel debut is what he's looking forward to most. And I think that's a universal feeling. What do you think he's going to do there? Do you think he's going to tackle the little tweed suit?
I think the thing that we love about Mathieu is that he has a really irreverent approach to fashion. When he did his first collection of Bottega Veneta, the first look was a tank top and a pair of jeans. And we were watching at home being like, okay, tank top and a pair of jeans, that means it's a clean slate. except they were actually made of leather. So I love that he made his first statement with a trickster spirit. And it's also what Karl Lagerfeld used to do. I think, the Chanel supermarket and making a suit out of denim, Karl always saw that he had to sort of break and do unexpected things. And I think Mathieu is going to bring that same spirit. And I think he's definitely going to take on the tweed suit and the flat and the quilted bag and just make us want all of them immediately.
What about Demna at Gucci?
The thing that he has on his side is the fact that he has a bit of a palette cleanser because there were 3 seasons that Sabato de Sarno worked on. But I have a feeling that he's going to go a little bit softer, maybe not such a severe silhouette. Dakota Johnson just stepped out on the red carpet a few weeks ago wearing a silver strapless A-line dress. And I mean, if you look at Demna's past collections, he loves the silver moment. He loves something that feels textural and at odds, unnatural in a way. So when I saw that dress, I was like, ooh.
All right, it's speed round time. Hot takes. Jose is back with us. Jose,
What's up?
what's your prediction?
My prediction / hot take is that the debuts that we're expecting to be the best will be the ones we like the least. Really, the underdogs are going to surprise us and please us the most.
I love an underdog story. What about you, Laia?
I think that tracks. My hot take is that fashion is going to split into 2. Quiet luxury, dunzo, and now we're going to see luxury. And then on the other hand, it's going to be a split where people are going to be prioritizing like things that are made by hand and like a kind of hippie, like late 90s, early 2000s layering of a sarong over pants, like Julian Klausner did at Dries Van Noten. That's my hot take for
All right.
the seasons
Well, which
ahead.
side, what camp are you going to fall in?
I'm definitely going to be in the hippie camp, pants and a scarf every day, which I've already been
Which you've been doing, yeah.
So, yeah.
Jose?
Well, if I could, I would be on the really luxury side. But since I don't have that budget, I'll be wearing the sarongs too.
But you do love a strong shoulder.
I do love a sharp shoulder, honey. What about you, Nicole?
I don't quite have a hot take as a concern. It's a long season, and I think that the guys at the end of the schedule will have the hardest job.
Right, unless it's amazing. It's really hard
Which
to
it
please
very
you.
well,
It might
maybe.
be.
I mean,
But
Mathieu is closing and it's going to be amazing.
Chanel debut is the last one.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Well, friends, as you've just heard, in between now and October 6th, there will be 15 debuts. That is a lot to unpack. We'll be doing exactly that all day, every day, and well into the night. If you don't have the Vogue Runway app, please download it now and follow along. Thank you.